Now, you know what? We're going to talk a little bit about homework. It's got to get done. Nanny Robina and Winston Sih, everyone. Someone's got to do it. Hey, guys. How are you?
Good.
Homework can be really tough. I didn't realize this until I had a school-age child who's in a French program, and there is a lot of work to get through, and you have to deal with a child that maybe doesn't like to sit for long periods of time. So let's talk about creating the right environment so that they're going to thrive with their homework. Robina.
We're going to try and make them thrive.
We're going to try our hardest. We'll do everything in our power.
Yes, everything in our power. But let's face it, you know what? When you've been to work all day, you don't want to come home and don't want to come home and do it again. And you know what? The real life is, it needs to be done. Right? And you're probably going to have a bit of a battle on your hands, but you can absolutely try and make it easier. So I think the first step is try and create the right part of the house that you're going to do it, the right environment, as you said. Pick your little corner and set it up that this is where you're going to do your homework on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
Number one rule is, obviously, you want to make sure that there's no TV. I do often find people may set them up at the kitchen table and the TV's on in the distance. That's very irritating because now they're looking at their books, but their ear is actually listening to whatever soap is on at the time. Okay, so keep the TV off. Try and keep it where the TV is not even visual.
Right.
Have a little word with the other siblings, right? Because they're the ones that are going to come running in and out and disrupt the homework moment.
Absolutely.
And it does not take a lot to disrupt it. So, you know what? Try and just create that quiet spot and keep the little siblings at bay.
Now, you're saying when you do create that spot for homework, and I just will add a caveat, if the TV is on City Line, you can keep it on. Okay?
Especially this show. You want it to repeat and repeat and repeat.
That's right. When you say that the parent actually has to be around to supervise.
Absolutely.
So that, I mean, what I found with homework is that there is a lot of parental involvement involved in homework these days. And I've had cousins and aunts and uncles of mine who are principals and vice principals say to me that the curriculum has changed in a way that, yes, parents must be involved in homework. It's made that way so that you've got to jump in there. Don't do the homework.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to be that resource.
You do, and you know what? The other thing is you've got to make that time for yourself. So now it involves you. You've got to set that time. It's like normally you could get on with dinner and the child is sitting there doing homework. Those days are gone.
Not so much.
Now you need to sit down and actually physically give that help also.
Yeah.
You know, if your child is actually struggling with their homework, let me tell you, as a nanny, I struggled with the homework because, first of all, I didn't know anything about Canadian history. And math, it changes by the day. So I remember being a nanny to a 10-year-old. She got so frustrated, she got through her homework teaching me. And literally, she's like, you're not doing it right. No. You know, and I'm like, I'll take the duh. And she ended up trying to teach me the math. And I'm like, what do you do that for? And she's teaching me, but she got through her homework. One of the things I discovered was, you know what? You need to allow the kids to choose their time. They may not want to come straight home from school and do it. They may want to have a little downtime. And also keep in mind, no matter what the age of your child, they need a break. They're probably not going to sit down and do an hour straight.
No.
Their mind starts to wander. Now they're starting to think about who they're going to text later, what they're going to do. If it's a toddler, well, not a toddler, but a JK, SK person that has a little something to do, they're not going to sit there for a long time. Expect that. Give them the break, you know. And a couple of things you might want to consider doing is maybe taking, you know, if you have a child that's not knuckling down to it, take the cell phone away because this is what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would say no technology if they're supposed to be focusing on their homework. Unless, of course, they need a calculator or something like that to get through their math homework. So keeping things positive, I find, is sometimes very difficult because if they're struggling and you're helping, what can you do to help keep things positive with their homework? So
you know what? I think, like, help them with the challenge. One of the things is, you know, break it up in two. So let's put the easy side here, okay, and tackle that part of the homework that is more easy. And then let's tackle the difficult side together. And by helping them and encouraging them, you're kind of putting a positive note on it because you're like, you're doing it with them. Try and keep it. No, I understand. And accept their frustration. So if they don't understand something, say, okay, you know what? Let's work on this together and let's see if we can solve this problem together. And yes, it's still going to be frustrating for them, but you're taking the edge off it by accepting their frustrations and trying to make it more positive for them.
Okay.
You know, approaching it a slightly different way.
One thing I've noticed noticed with my older child is that he sometimes doesn't even want to write the word down for fear of making a mistake.
Oh.
And I always say the mistake is on your way to learning. You have to make the mistake.
Yes,
that's all part of
absolutely.
it. Just
That's
get
a
something
great
down.
point.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Yeah.
And then we'll work it out. There's no
Yeah.
punishment for doing things wrong, but just get something down.
It's all about learning,
right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about technology and the apps that are out there, Winston, that might help with homework, because things have changed a lot since I was doing homework.
And I think the biggest thing to stress here is that you're still, as a parent, involved in the process of doing homework. As to Nanny's point, it's very easy to forget how to do math equations, what science steps, what history there is behind things, and there are apps to help you along as a parent and as a student as well. So there's one app that I want to show you that's really cool. It's called Photo Math. So a lot of us get blank homework at home, confused. I don't know how to do this equation step by step.
Right.
So there's an app now where you can hold your camera up to a piece of a question here.
Yeah.
It'll recognize it.
Oh.
And it'll pop, the answer will pop up. So it'll tell you what the answer is. But then from there, you can click steps.
Okay, I have a question. Isn't that cheating?
It's not, because
Here's the answer.
what's good about this is once the steps pop up, it'll give you step-by-step explanations. So it'll tell you.
It'll tell you basically the way to work it out without giving you without giving you the whole thing.
And you swipe through, and it'll give you step by step how you arrive to that answer. So, it's not just spitting out the answer like you do with the answer key.
Right.
It's actually helping you out along the way.
Yeah.
There's another a really cool app that I want to talk about too. It's called HW Pick, the homework picture. So, as a parent, if you don't know how to help your kids out with this homework, each time you use it, you actually take a picture of the homework, and within minutes, a tutor will actually send through those step-by-step answers so you can help coach your kids through it as well. So you're not necessarily hiring a tutor, you're also being involved in the process. You're not just
pay for
giving
that?
It's a free app that you download, and it's actually when you use it. It's a pay-per-use process.
That is so cool. There's some
really
robot
cool.
waiting to help you with your kids.
It's not a robot, it's a real person.
Sure, it's a real person.
But it's a network of very smart people.
I like the first version, all the answers.
That is so cool. Okay, let's go to break. We have got more coming up. That's awesome.